Hi guys, so today is February 19th and tonight's homework is Module 4, Lesson 18, homework number 4. So tonight's problem says Eric buys 2 5/10 pounds of cashews. If each pound of cashews costs $7.70, how much will he pay for the cashews? So let's go box in and underline. He's going to buy 2 5/10 pounds of cashews. Each pound costs $7.70. And now we talked before about the word each. Each pound means 1 pound. So 1 pound equals $7.70. How much will he pay for the cashews? So answer statement over here, he will pay blank dollars for the cashews. Okay, so let's draw a picture here. Let's start with the first sentence. Eric's buying 2 1/2 pounds of cashews. So I know 2 1/2 is already greater than 1 whole, so I'm gonna have to show more than one tape diagram here. So I can draw this tape diagram 2 different ways, and I'm gonna show you 2 different ways. I actually probably could I probably could show a tape diagram a number of other ways as well, but I'm going to just show you 2 separate ways that you could draw this. Here's the first way. So I know if this is going to be 1 whole pound, so 1 pound, we need to show 2 1/2 pounds. So I'm going to make another box the same exact size, shape, and value. So there's another pound together. They're 2 pounds, but I still have this 2.5, 2 5/10. Now 2 5/10 is the same as 2 1/2 because 5 is half of 10. 5/10 is an equivalent fraction to 1/2. So when I look at that 2 5/10, that's 2 1/2. So I'm going to lightly shade in. We have 1 pound, 2 pounds, and I'm going to make a third box the same exact size, shape, and value as the other one. But I'm going to cut this box in half, and I'm going to label this 1/2 pound. And I'm only going to shade in that 1 box there. Okay, so I know that each of these holes, that's 1 whole pound. Each pound is $7.70. So I'm going to go back and fill in that information. That's $7.70. This one is $7.70. And this box here, the entire box, is worth $7.70. Now that third box, though, we only have half of it shaded because we have 2 1/2 pounds. 1 whole pound, 2 whole pounds, 2 1/2 pounds. So this part here is actually only worth half of $7.70. Okay, we know half of is the same as 1/2 times, right? Let me show you another picture. So it's a similar tape diagram, it's just set up a little differently. We would have 3 separate tape diagrams here. There's 1 pound, here's another pound, and then we'd have our third pound, but cut that in half so that we'd have half pound there. And again, we'd shade in 1, 2, 2 1/2 pounds. So again, we would know that the total for each of these is $7.70. $7.70. $7.70. But then this part here would be half of $7.70, right? Okay, so at this point, either of those pictures would work, whichever one makes more sense to you. I would use, don't feel like you have to use this one or you have to use this one. Or if you have a different way to show that picture and it makes sense to you, then go with your way. Obviously, there's always a ton of different ways to solve a problem here. So a strategy now that we know we have 1 whole group of $7.70, 2 whole groups of $7.70, and then half a group of $7.70. You could solve this half of 770 and find out what half of 770 is, then add the answer to this plus this and this to find out what they all are. Or a way that we talked about in class today was looking at how many groups this is. If we look at each whole pound as a group, I have one group here, and half a group here. So it's 2.5 groups, 2.5 pounds. So if I look at that as 2.5 groups, each group is worth $7.70. So I have 2.5 groups of $7.70. Well, we've talked before about this idea that the words groups of take us back to 3rd grade math when we would have something like this. 3 groups of 4. So we would show our 3 groups. Each group would have 4 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we can see that 3 groups of 4 is the same as 3 times 4, which is 12 total dots there. So here we have 2.5 groups, 2.5 groups of $7.70. So we can just swap that groups of for a multiplication sign. 2.5, 2 5/10 times 7 70/100. Now we're going to stack this vertically to multiply, and when we multiply decimals, you just kind of push everything to the right. You do not have to line up decimal points, okay? So you just push everything to the right there. When we add and subtract decimals, that's when we line up decimal points. But when we multiply, you just kind of push everything over the way you would with whole numbers here. We temporarily ignore that decimal point till our final answer. So 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 7 is 35. Carry my 3, put my 5 down. 5 times 7 again is 35, but we have to add this 3. So 36, 37, 38. I'm going to drop my bomb, kill my captain, sweep my deck. Now I'm multiplying with this 2. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 7 is 14. Carry the 1. 2 times 7 is 14 plus 1 is 15. So now I'm going to add this up. 8 plus 4 is 12. Carry the 1. 5 plus 3 is 8. Plus 1 is 9. And then 1 plus nothing. Now we're not done because the very last step here is to look at how many digits are to the right of the decimal point. So we circle each of those digits. I see 1, 2, 3 digits to the right of the decimal. So we're going to come in 1, 2, 3 places. And I see my answer is 19 250 thousandths. But when we talk about dollars and cents, we talked today about how typically when you're looking at prices or costs, we only go out to the hundredths place because a penny is 1/100th of a dollar. So as soon as you get farther out than the hundredths, you're looking at a fraction of a penny there. And we don't generally see prices and costs in everyday life where we have to split up fractions of pennies. So we can let that 0 fall off the shelf. We know there's not a decimal point or a digit here holding that 0 on. So my answer becomes 19 2500ths, or in terms of prices and costs, $19.25. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you guys. I think that this ends up, if you look at this as 2.5 groups of $7.70, it really simplifies the problem down to one math problem. Whereas if you were to find out what half of 770 is, and then add that to 770 plus 770, add those 3 amounts together, you're going to have more than one math problem there. I encourage you to try it that way, see if you get the same answer as you would this way. That might be a little way to challenge yourself or to try things multiple ways. So I hope this makes sense to you. I hope you do well on your homework, and I can't wait to see you in class tomorrow. Have a good night, guys.